Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel, and man, the good news for XRP holders just does not stop. Let's pile it on. Here's the headline from Cointelegraph. Dubai regulator greenlights Ripple's RLUSD stablecoin. A couple things right off the bat here. This is fantastic for XRP itself. And in fact, I'm going to share with you perspective from a former Ripple employee who articulates exactly why this is fantastic for XRP. And in fact, this former Ripple employee articulates why this is what's happening right now. This news and what's going to follow this, because he has a real good hunch of what's going to follow right after this. This is going to be nothing but accelerant for the adoption of XRP and the XRP ledger itself. It's just, I'd say after going through what we've gone through for years, getting attacked by the United States government, and just having it felt like the world against us effectively, to have that behind us, now being embraced by the United States government and other governments around the world, Dubai, from a governmental perspective, embracing XRP in multiple ways, which I'll also show you in this video. And it's just incredible. Things have completely flipped. XRP is just dominating and very obviously winning. And so if you're paying attention, and I know you guys are, you can see that just... Can you imagine like another 5 to 10 years out how much XRP is going to be worth because of stuff like, because fundamentals matter, folks. As long as XRP continues to be useful, markets are going to figure this out and they're going to catch up and they're going to price accordingly. If anything, XRP is undervalued if you're factoring in the utility. My God. But before going further, I do want to be clear. I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. Now, I want you guys to fully appreciate what is happening in this corner of the world right now. Look at this headline from last week, which I very happily shared in a Moon Lambo hot jam. Here it is, May 26th. Dubai unveils real estate tokenization platform on XRP ledger amid $16 billion initiative. Folks, this is a gigantic one. This uses XRP itself. Let me say it again. This uses XRP itself. XRP is required for this. A government is tokenizing land, putting it on the XRP ledger, which requires XRP for every single transaction of it. That's real life. That's now. Reads as follows. The Dubai Land Department, a government agency for the real estate industry, has launched its first tokenized real estate platform as part of a government-backed effort that could see $16 billion worth of real estate digitized by 2033. The platform, called Pripco Mint and developed in partnership with real estate fintech firm Pripco, allows investors to purchase fractional ownership in Dubai properties using local currency starting at 2,000 dirhams, or about $540, according to a Sunday press release by the agency. So folks, this is real life. This isn't some sort of rumor. This isn't a science experiment. It's real life. That's happening. That's that. XRP is functionally useful. Do you think that XRP ceases to be valuable in terms of market value, like price, in a world where it's being used for stuff? Are you kidding me? It just keeps getting better and better. You know this, but most of the world doesn't know this stuff. Most of the world isn't paying attention like this. Most people have never even heard of XRP. And here's the news, folks. It's like it's served you on a platter. It couldn't be more freaking obvious. And Dubai has been pro XRP for a long time. My fellow XRP YouTuber Kevin Cage shared this post on Tuesday. He wrote, "Surprise, surprise." Of course, he doesn't think this is a surprise. He shared a couple screen grabs of stories. There's one from November 2nd, 2023 from Business Wire. DIFC champions Dubai as a global crypto hub with approval of XRP under its virtual assets regime. That's right. Well, XRP was under attack at that time. And obviously, the case had concluded, but still under attack, obviously. While XRP is under attack in 2023, the rest of the world didn't give a damn. Yeah, United States screwing up our own opportunity at the time anyway, to be leaders in this space. They're happy to fill the void. They're moving forward. They're like, what are you talking about? XRP security? No, Dubai didn't care what the United States said about the claims of the SEC, the government, the SEC claiming XRP it was a security. They're like, no, we're just going to use it. It's not security. Obviously, it had no ramifications. It's just Again, it got approval under its virtual assets regime. So obviously, they're very pro XRP. They have been for years. So none of this should be that big of a surprise. They viewed XRP as an obvious winner. Why? Do you think that Dubai just goes gung-ho like this for every single crypto? No, they don't. Now, they're pro-crypto in a general sense. They're not maximalists of any coin, including XRP. They're not. But like this? It's very obvious XRP is here to stay, or they wouldn't be doing the things that they're doing. Then there's this headline. This is from May 13th this year. Ripple secures DFSA license to offer regulated crypto payments in the UAE. So, are you surprised by the news we got today? Ripple got that license specifically for regulated crypto payments. They've got, obviously, they're heavily using XRP, duh. We got RLUSD, which launched in December. And then we get this headline on the evening in Tuesday, literally just yesterday. Dubai regulator greenlights Ripple's RLUSD stablecoin. Check this out. Then we got to talk about what this means for XRP in the future here, which is when I'll jump into a perspective from a former Ripple employee who has some valuable insights. But check this out. The Dubai Financial Services Authority, the financial regulator in charge of the Dubai International Finance Center, has approved Ripple's RLUSD stablecoin. Following the approval, DIFC companies can now use the RLUSD stablecoin for various virtual asset services. These may include payments, treasury management, and services. The DIFC is a free economic zone and financial district that serves companies throughout the Middle East, Africa, and South Asia. The financial zone had nearly 7,000 registered businesses by the end of 2024. Under the DIFC's crypto framework, only tokens recognized by the DFSA may be used across the district's regulated ecosystem. So, folks, this is more domination for XRP specifically. And so even when you're talking about RLUSD, if it's moving on the XRP ledger, then XRP is required, literally, as a gas token. That's how that works. That's how it's programmed. Any success you see for RLUSD, if it's having to do with the XRP ledger, all you have to think is, wow, that's a good thing. That's a good thing for XRP specifically. You can just jump to that immediately because that's true. That's what's happening here. Further adoption, further ingrained. All of these little things that I share day after day, week after week, month after month, for years on end, they all add up into, yes, XRP's a winner. Duh. You done picked a winner, folks. And so we have this post from Austin King. A former Ripple employee, actually sold his first company to Ripple. He went to Harvard, and he's the co-founder of Omni. So he's got quite the impressive resume here. And I always find his posts insightful. I'm always happy to share them on my channel. And so here's what he had to say about this. Because he thinks, yeah, it's cool what happened with the buy, but there's actually something bigger happening next. So here's what he wrote. Ripple's stablecoin was just approved in Dubai, a $400 billion economy. Adoption is accelerating faster than most anticipated. But what's actually going on here? Most people are missing the larger pattern. It's likely that a $4 trillion economy is up next. Japan. Why Japan? Ripple has spent nearly a decade building deep partnerships there, especially with SBI, one of Japan's largest financial institutions. It's also particularly well suited because the Japanese economy is heavily export-oriented, meaning they do a lot of global trade, which is primarily done in USD, soon to be done in stablecoins like RLUSD. So folks, think about this. They're still going to be doing what they're doing, but with RLUSD instead. And transactions will be so much cheaper that you're actually going to encourage more transactions, including smaller transactions. So that's a thing. You're going to have more transactions, including, you're going to pick up the velocity of the way that money moves around the planet. That's what's going to happen. That's what crypto does. That's part of what crypto does. It's a big piece, though. XRP makes that possible because it's so cheap per transaction, even small ones. And it's the settlements in real time. It just is. And so XRP's powering that. Literally, to the tune potentially of trillions of dollars you let enough time pass. Anyway, Austin continues. This would be a huge accelerant. Hear that, folks? He says, this would be a huge accelerant to the growth of RLUSD and XRP ledger. Folks, it's not just me saying that this is good for XRP and the XRP ledger. Austin King knows this. This is a matter-of-fact statement. So all of this gigantic news, it's a matter-of-fact statement. This is good for XRP holders. Absolutely, unquestionably is. It is. Then he continues. However, there are still key blockers. Businesses today aren't used to using crypto. Even technically advanced companies still aren't used to working with the XRP ledger, Ethereum, or Solana directly. We built Omni to be synergistic with these underlying networks. It's our goal to make it as easy for institutions, businesses, and users to go on-chain as it is to go online. I'm very excited for the impact we'll be able to make as we make it easier to benefit from technologies like RLUSD. So, what comes next? Today's announcement about Dubai is pretty big news, but Japan would have a 10 times greater impact. After that, excuse me, folks. At least I leaned away from the microphone. I know most of you know I've been sick and I got a bit of a cough now. Let me take some water. I'm feeling way, way, way better. But the lagging symptom for me, it's this damn cough. And it gets worse at the end of the sickness as I'm recovering. And so that's the first time it popped up during a video. So I apologize for that. But at least I didn't lean into the mic like so many freaking YouTubers do. Like, what? If you're going to cough, just go the other way. At least don't lean into the damn microphone. Get out of the way of that goddamn microphone. Just back here like this. So I sound further away. See that? Like, why can't YouTubers just do that? I did it. I leaned away. I'm a considerate host on the Moon Lambo channel, and you are welcome. Anyway, let me read that again. So what comes next? Today's announcement about Dubai is pretty big news, but Japan would have a 10 times greater impact. After the dominoes will begin to tip even faster throughout the world as adoption accelerates. He says after that, the dominoes will begin to tip. I'm sorry, I read it weird. After that, the dominoes will begin to tip even faster throughout the world as adoption accelerates. Most people don't get what's coming. If you're reading this, you're early enough to see the bigger picture. Yeah, exactly. and I get it, and I'm sure that you guys do get it. You're paying attention. So I keep saying, like, I'm in awe of the opportunity at hand here. We are so early. We're part of a very small group that knows, even if it is like a 10 million, 20 million people that have ever bought XRP, whatever the number is, even if it's that high, that's way less than 1% of humans. That's a relatively small group. Almost nobody knows the things that we know. Isn't that kind of badass? Like, that's why we still have the opportunity. The rest of the world doesn't agree with this yet. And in part, that's because a lot of them just don't even have any information. But we're right. We are at the point, we have passed the point, in my opinion. I'm going to keep saying, I've been saying it the last couple of days. We are past the point of wondering if XRP is going to be some sort of long-term player. No, we already hit it, bitch. XRP has won, period. XRP won. Okay? It's just a question of how quickly it's going to scale in terms of adoption. We already won. That's no longer a question mark. It just isn't. It just isn't. We just need more of what's already happening. That's it. Make more of what's already happening. That's it. But we already won, folks. You see what's at hand? You see what's ahead? I don't understand how any XRP holder could not be ridiculously excited over this. It just doesn't compute to me. All right, I better stop here before I have a cough fit. I apologize for the cough, folks, but it is what it is. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the Moon Lambo.